Welcome to Vista Motorhomes and our 3 to 4 berth Chausson 514 motorhome. I'm going to show you around the features on the outside of the motorhome, also the inside, so you know how everything works and can make the most of your motorhome holiday. This key fob operates the central locking, but only for the cab. Here's your ignition key, and there's a separate key for the motorhome entrance door and all the lockers on the motorhome. This motorhome is diesel. The diesel filler is here. The motorhome also uses AdBlue. If you get an AdBlue warning light on your dashboard, you'll need to fill with AdBlue using this separate blue filler here. AdBlue is available at most petrol stations, so just unscrew the cap and add the AdBlue here. It's really important that the AdBlue goes only in this blue filler and not in with the diesel. Getting it in with the diesel could cause serious engine damage. If this did accidentally happen, really important, don't start the engine and contact us straight away. This is where you connect to electricity, either on a campsite or at home. You'll find a hookup cable in your garage. Unwind this completely before you use it. There are two different ends. The end without the flap connects to the campsite power supply. The end with the flap connects to the motorhome. Push this in here so it's firmly clicked into place. You would then connect the other end to the electricity supply. To disconnect, push down here and it should easily pull out. If you want to connect at home, you'll also find an adapter in your rear garage. So connect that here and you'll be able to connect to a standard 3-pin socket. This is the compartment where you'll fill with water and where you'll find the fuses. To open it, turn the two locks to horizontal, push in on both locks until you hear a click and the door will then drop down. To fill with water, pull out this tube here and unscrew the cap on the end. You'll find a hose in this compartment that you can connect to a water supply to fill the tanks with water. There is an indicator on the control panel inside the motorhome that will tell you how full the tanks are. If you need to empty the fresh water tanks, you'll see a brown lever in the bottom of a compartment. It's normally horizontal. Pull it up to vertical, which will start to drain the tanks. They will drain through gravity, but if you turn on the pump, that will do it a little bit faster. On this side are the trip switches, fuse board and battery charger. If you don't have power to the motorhome when you're hooked up, the first thing to check is the trip switches here, that they're in the up on position. If something were to fuse, you can check the fuses here. The circuits are labelled. You'll find spare fuses and also a fuse diagram in the glove compartment, so you can replace the fuse with another fuse of the correct ampage. The battery charger will be in the on position using this button here. There are also instructions on the outside of the door. To close the compartment, push it up till you hear a click and then turn the locks on both sides back to the vertical position. This is the gas locker. To open it, turn the key to horizontal, the handle will pop out, turn that and you can pull the door open. In here you have a propane or Calagas cylinder. These are always supplied in the off position for safety. To open it, turn this valve here anti-clockwise, turn that all the way out. There is an arrow on the top and also a label here to remind you which way to turn it. There's also a gauge here that will tell you how much gas you have. To start the flow of gas, you'll also need to push down on the top of this gauge. If you need to replace the gas cylinder during your hire, this can be exchanged for a like-for-like 6 kilo propane cylinder. You can exchange where you see the Calgas symbol. Lots of campsites and petrol stations do this. You should disconnect at the internal connection here using the gas spanner provided. Also undo the holding straps, replace with the new cylinder, reattach with the holding straps, reconnect at the internal connection and tighten with the gas spanner. Everyone's favourite bit, the toilet cassette. This is how you access the toilet cassette. It's the opposite to the other lockers. So turn the key to vertical to unlock, push and open. Inside you'll find your toilet chemical. We'll have put some toilet chemical in when you collect. When the light in the bathroom comes on to tell you that the toilet cassette needs emptying, to remove the cassette, you will pull up on this orange handle here and the cassette should easily pull out. If it doesn't easily come out, the valve might have been left open inside, so please check this. There's a handle that pulls out and also wheels, so you can pull this to the chemical toilet disposal point that you'll find on most campsites. To empty the toilet cassette when you get to the chemical toilet disposal point, first thing you'll need to do is twist out this orange pipe here and unscrew the grey cap from the end. This orange button here is an air valve that will help the toilet cassette to empty out. When it is empty, you're going to need to give that cassette a swill out. So pull back the flap here, turn this dial. You'll find a hose at the chemical toilet disposal point. So you can give that a good swill out. When it's clean, you'll need to refill with toilet chemical. The toilet chemical is concentrated, so you'll only need about half a cup. So measure that into the cup. You can pour that in straight through the open valve. You'll then need to close that back up. So turn the orange dial to close the valve, push the flap back open, put the grey cap back on and twist in the pipe. Make sure the handle is clicked back into position. Then slide this back into place. You'll see the orange handle will click down in here and show you that it's in exactly the right position. Store your toilet chemical and your cup. The outlet for the waste tank on the motorhome is on the driver's side, just behind the rear wheel. Look for this symbol and then look underneath the motorhome. You will see the grey outlet pipe with a lever above. You'll need a motorhome service point, which you'll find on most campsites, to empty the waste tank. So you would drive over the service point and then pull out this handle. The water flows out of the waste tank and into the drain on the motorhome service point. When it's stopped draining and the tank is empty, push this back in. If you're not on Hookup and use the water heater on gas, you'll need to remove this vent cover. There is a bit of a knack to it, so to remove it, push down on the top and pull out at the bottom. Replace it when you're not using the water heater on gas, just push down from the top, click in at the bottom. You can access the garage from either side of the motorhome, though the largest access is on the driver's side. To unlock, turn the locks to horizontal. You'll see the handles will pop out, then turn them anti-clockwise at the top and at the bottom. The door will open. You'll see you've got a good sized garage, particularly for this size motorhome. You can actually increase the size of the garage by using the easy bed system. Put the winding handle in here and wind anti-clockwise to lower the bed and clockwise to raise it. There's a light in the garage. You've also got 12-volt and 3-pin sockets. In the garage you'll find tables and chairs, a hookup lead and 3-pin adapter if you need it, a hose for filling with water, a barbecue with tools and levelling ramps. There's also an emergency toolkit, high-vis jackets and warning triangle. To lock the garage, turn the handles clockwise, turn the lock back to vertical and push in the handles at the top and the bottom. On the entrance door you've got a fly screen, but you will need to lift up this step mat, then you can just pull the fly screen across. Now I'm going to show you how everything works inside the motorhome. To turn on the control panel, press and hold the top left button. The next button along controls your lights and also the 12-volt system. So you turn that on to make your lights work. Also, if you're operating on 12 volts when you're not on hookup, you'll need this button turned on. The third button is your pump. That will pump water to the taps and shower in the motorhome. And the fourth button along the top row is an outside light. Along the bottom you'll have indicators that show the condition of your leisure battery, the condition of your vehicle battery, how much water you have in your fresh water tanks, and this is just a dimmer to dim the control panel for night time. This green light here tells us that we're on hookup, and we have a flashing symbol here to tell us that we don't have fresh water. You'd also get a flashing symbol here when your wastewater tanks are full. Also, just above the control panel you have your diesel heater. Very simple to use. Just turn the dial to maximum. You'll see the green light comes on in the center. Leave this for about 5 minutes to circulate, and then you can adjust that to whatever temperature you want and simply turn it back to the 0 position to turn it off. You do need approximately half a tank of diesel to use the diesel heater because the takeoff is part way up the tank, so that you can't run out of diesel by using the heater. In the kitchen you have a 3-burner gas hob, you have your sink, you have a grill up here, and also what's called a 3-way fridge. The fridge will operate on gas or electricity, or even on the vehicle battery just while you're driving. To turn it on, press this button here. The easiest setting to have it on is automatic, so press A for automatic here. That just selects the best available power supply. In this case it's selected electricity because we're on electric hookup. If you needed to manually adjust them, you just press the buttons here. For example, I'll show you how gas works. If we put it on gas, you will hear a clicking, which is the igniter igniting the gas supply, and also this button is to run off the vehicle battery. You can see we've got an error message here because that will only work when the engine's on and you're actually driving. To adjust the temperature, just press this button here up and down. I'd suggest leave it somewhere in the middle, and if you need to turn the fridge off, just press and hold this left button here. To use the grill, you turn the dial here to the large flame position and use the igniter here, and you may have to click a few times, and then obviously the grill is on. Keep holding that for a few seconds to make sure that's lit before you release that, and then you can adjust it to the temperature that you want. You've also got a light here inside the grill. You've got a 10-litre boiler to heat the water on your motorhome. It will operate on gas or electricity, and the switches to operate this are just below the wardrobe. You've got a button at the bottom that says EL on it, which is for electric operation. You'd use this whenever you're on hookup. To turn it on, push the grey switch to the up position. That'll give you standard 50-degree hot water. Back to the central position for off, and down for hotter 70-degree hot water. If you need to operate on gas because you're not on hookup, the buttons are the same, but you have to remember to take the vent cover off on the outside of the motorhome before using the boiler on gas, and also have your gas switched on. When you turn the gas on, you'll hear a click that tells you the boiler is lighting. If you then get a red light comes on in the rim here. That will tell you that there's a problem. Either you've forgotten to take the vent cover off or the gas isn't switched on. In the bathroom, the sink tap is also your shower. So pull it out and press this spray button here to give you a spray shower, and then just put it in this hole. There's a shower curtain so you don't soak the whole bathroom. Before you start showering, lift up the mat that's on the bathroom floor, and you can put it out here so you've got a mat for when you step out, and then pull the shower curtain around. When you finish showering, you can tie the shower curtain away with this tie back here, and you're also going to put the shower head back into tap mode. So remember to press this button here and then just feed it back into the tap, and it's a normal tap again. The light for the bathroom is just behind the toilet here. The toilet itself has a bowl that can be rotated to get it in the best position. When you're using the toilet, the flush is the blue button on the panel behind the toilet. Press and hold this button to flush the toilet. Unlike your toilet at home, it doesn't have conventional plumbing, so you'll also need to open a valve at the bottom. You push this grey lever to the right to open the valve, and everything will fall through into the cassette below. Don't forget to then pull it back to the left to close the valve so you don't have smells coming out of the toilet cassette. When the toilet cassette is full, you'll get an indicator light on the panel behind you to let you know to empty it. For the TV, you have a booster aerial which is inside the wardrobe. To turn it on, use the switch underneath. You'll see the blue light when it's switched on. TV is above the bed. You can pull this out by pushing down on this catch here and pulling the TV out. You can then pull down this lever and rotate the TV all the way around so you can watch it from the bedroom or watch it from the living room area. Your remote controls are in the cupboard just above the bed. When you've done with the TV for travel, make sure that it clicks back so it won't rotate left and right, and push it all the way in until you hear a click. TV is just above the bed. You can pull it out by pressing down on this button. It'll pull all the way out. You can also rotate it by pulling down on this silver toggle here. So you can rotate it to watch it from the bedroom, or the other way to watch from the dinette area. Your controls are in the cupboard here. When you're putting the TV away for travel, make sure this button goes right up so the TV doesn't rotate left and right. Push down on this button and push it all the way back in until you hear a click. You've got a standard 3-pin socket here. There's also another one in the bedroom for the TV and a 12-volt socket. All of your cupboards and drawers have lock-in catches, so press this button, pop it out to open, and when you're ready to close for travel, push this into lock. Your main light switch is here by the door. You've also got under cupboard lighting and low-level lighting. To lock the door from the inside, just push in on this silver handle and then pull out to unlock and open the door. You've got lights either side in the front and USB chargers here. To open the windows, you need to press the small buttons in the centre of the handles, push and turn all the way around, and you'll move that out and it'll find a lock position. To get it back in, push it all the way out and pull back in and close the handles. All of the side windows operate like this. They also come with night blinds. Squeeze these two and pull up to close, and squeeze and pull down again to close. They also have fly screens which pull down and attach to here, and you can pull them up and down together if you want to. A big skylight in the front of this motorhome. It has got fly screens, pulls down from the top, and also a night blind that pulls up from the bottom. If you want to open the skylight, there's a lot of catches on it. The 3 that go along the top, it's very important that before you open them, you push the button in the centre, then turn the lever. You do that all the way along. You can also open the catches on the 2 sides, and it pushes out from the top. It will find its lock position. There's various lock positions depending on how far open you want it. And to close it, push it all the way out, and then it will come back and you lock all 5 handles, 3 along the top and the 2 down the sides. You've got a main skylight in the kitchen area. To open this, flick out this handle and turn clockwise to open, anti-clockwise to close again. When you're closing, make sure that the red indicator comes on here to show you that it's locked, and then flick the handle back into position. We've got fly screens which pull over from this side, and at night the night blind pulls over from this side. Highlight above the bed. If you want to open it, just make sure that this is in the unlocked position. Twist this dial clockwise to open, anti-clockwise to close again. You've also got a fly screen. Squeeze these together and pull over, and also blind again, squeeze together and pull over, and simply squeeze again and pull back to open. Both of the front seats in this motorhome swivel to create this nice open dining area. You can also extend the table by pulling down on the button underneath the table and pulling out this extension. To move the seats, there's a normal bar at the front of the seat that will allow you to move it backwards and forwards. And to rotate, there's a half bar underneath the seat. You pull that out and you can see the seat will rotate around, and take it back into the position for driving and make sure that's locked into position. A second bed can be made up from the dinette area. The base of the bed is made up from the dining table. Also this additional section which you will find above the cab. There's a leg which you'll find under this seat. The first thing to do is to remove this table. It is quite heavy, so you might want to get help with this. So lift it high at this end so that it can be removed from the wall support. You can then remove the bottom section of the support leg, which just pulls out, and the table is then lowered into position on the lower support to make up the bed section. The lower support rail works the same as the top, so locate it into position and push as you lower it gently down to make the bed base. Drop down this cushion, make sure it's pushed right back underneath the top cushion, and then you can put in your extra cushion. So this is the extra cushion that you'll need to make up the bed. This bit goes on this corner. Drop it down towards the seat cushion and then push down in the corner. If you're using the bed for a small child, you can use it just like this, but for an older child or adult, you'll need to put in an additional section. If you need to use the extra section for the bed, you'll be using this and the leg, which just slots in here. Make sure that clicks into place. Flip this cushion up out of the way, and then what you need to do is line up this cutout here in the corner and slide it under this cushion here. gives you your extra length on the bed. Check that's securely in place and your leg is on the floor here. Drop this cushion down over the gap. Take your additional cushion section, the strange shaped one, and drop it in there. And then to complete the bed, take this cushion off the wall and push into this end here. You'll find the fire extinguisher behind the rear seats outside the bathroom, and a fire blanket and first aid kit on the lower shelf of the wardrobe. The emergency toolkit, you've got various screwdrivers, pliers, wrenches, also various types of tape. There's also spare batteries for the carbon monoxide detector and TV remote, as well as hookup adapters for the hose in case they don't fit the tap on your campsite. This motorhome is based on a Ford Transit. The cab is very similar to any modern car and has all the features you'd expect, like air conditioning and cruise control. The handbrake is on the right hand side of the driver's seat and is always down. So to put the handbrake on, just pull up as normal, but you'll notice the handbrake will drop back down. To take it off, pull up until you feel some tension, push the button in and drop down to take the handbrake off. You'll find detailed instructions in your motorhome information pack, as well as insurance and breakdown cover documents. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it can help you to make the most of your motorhome experience.